What if even the mighty Zeus wasn't safe from a prophecy? Greek mythology wouldn't be complete without Zeus, his drama, and the prophecies surrounding his children. These predictions weren't just brutal. They reshaped destinies and sparked chaos even Zeus couldn't control. What did these prophecies mean for the god of gods and his offspring? Welcome to Mythic Lounge. Make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on your notifications. Trust me, you don't want to miss a thing when it comes to myths, gods, and epic betrayals. Now let's dive into the prophecy that had Zeus sweating. Ready? The prophecy about Zeus and his children is a big part of Greek legend. It shows how power, fear, and the inevitable cycles of fate work together. As king of the gods, Zeus had complete control over Mount Olympus, but there was a prophecy that his children would hang over him like a dark cloud. The story says that Zeus would be overthrown by one of his children, just like he had done with his father, Cronus. Many of Zeus's choices about his children were based on his fear, and it also affected the stories of some of the most famous people in Greek mythology, like Athena and Hercules. Before we can figure out why this prophecy meant so much to Zeus, we need to look at where he came from and how he became powerful. Zeus was part of a long line of family power fights, and he did the same things to keep himself from falling that his predecessors had done. During a violent fight for control of the world, Cronus, leader of the Titans, killed his father, Uranus. After getting his power back, Cronus learned of a prophecy that said one of his children would bring him down. Cronus was so scared by this that he did terrible things to stop it. When Cronus's wife Rhea had a baby, he swallowed the whole baby because he thought it would keep the child from getting strong enough to fight him. But when Zeus was born, Rhea thought of a way to keep her son safe. Cronus swallowed a stone that was wrapped in cloth to make him think it was the baby Zeus. During this time, Zeus was kept secret and raised in secret. As Zeus got older, he found out about what his father had done. He then set out to complete the prophecy by getting rid of Cronus and freeing his siblings, Hestia, Demeter, Hera, Hades, and Poseidon, from Cronus's stomach. These people helped Zeus beat Cronus and the Titans, making him the new king of the gods. The story of Zeus's rise to power shows how tension and fear are passed down from one generation to the next, which is a common theme in many Greek myths. Cronus's plan to avoid falling apart by eating his children only put off what was going to happen anyway. And Zeus's win over his father was seen as just the way things should be. But after he took the throne, Zeus learned of a similar promise about his children. This made him take steps to protect himself from being overthrown. The promise that one of Zeus's children would take down his father made him feel very unsafe. Even though Zeus was king of the gods and had all power, he still felt fear, just like his father had. Like Cronus, Zeus tried to control his fate by doing terrible things to stop the prophecy from coming true. This fear affected his relationships with both real and supernatural women, as well as how he dealt with his many children. Zeus had many children with many different women, including goddesses, nymphs, and mortals. Some of these children were seen as strong and brave, while others stayed vague in legend. No matter where they came from, Zeus was always on guard because he knew that any of his children could be the ones to achieve the prophecy and challenge his rule. The story of brutality begins with Zeus's first wife, Metis, which is one of the most well-known cases of him trying to get around the prophecy. Zeus was interested in Metis because she was a Titaness and was known for being smart and wise. But when Zeus found out that Metis was going to have a child stronger than him, he became very suspicious. Zeus did something terrible because he was afraid the child would overthrow him. Zeus ate Metis while she was pregnant to stop the prophecy from coming true. He thought that if he kept her inside him, the baby would not be able to be born and he would not be overthrown. Zeus had a plan, but it didn't work out the way he thought it would. Metis kept living inside Zeus, and while she was still inside his body, she gave birth to their daughter Athena. Soon after, Zeus started to have terrible headaches that were unlike anything he had ever felt before. So bad was the pain that he begged the god Hephaestus to cut his head open with an axe. Everyone was shocked when Athena, fully grown and wearing armor, jumped out. Athena was born magically, and she became one of the most powerful Greek gods right away. Even though people were afraid Athena would make the prophecy come true, she was not a threat to Zeus. Athena was one of Zeus's most devoted children. She was smart and clever, which made her an excellent friend rather than an enemy. Another child of Zeus who might have been a threat to his rule was Hercules, whose Greek name was Heracles. Hercules was one of Zeus's most famous kids by a human mother. He was very strong and did many brave things. Hercules was born to the human woman Alcmene. He was the child of one of Zeus's many affairs, which put him at odds with Hera, Zeus's wife. Because Hera was mad that Zeus was cheating on her, she made it her goal to hurt Hercules for the rest of his life. Hera wanted to kill him from the moment he was born. She put 2 snakes in Hercules' crib to kill him, but the baby hero killed them with his bare hands. Later, Hera made Hercules briefly crazy, which is why he killed his wife and kids while he was crazy. This tragedy led to Hercules' famous 12 labors, a set of nearly impossible jobs he had to do as punishment for what he had done. Hercules was one of the best heroes in Greek mythology, even though he had to go through a lot of hard times. Some gods, like his father Zeus, liked him because he was strong, brave, and determined. Zeus often kept Hercules safe from Hera's anger, and after he died, he repaid him by making him immortal. Hercules was strong enough to possibly question Zeus's rule, but there was never any real proof that he wanted to get rid of his father. Instead, Hercules was always loyal to Zeus, and he was praised as a hero both in life and after death. In this way, Zeus once again dodged the prophecy. However, Zeus and Leto had twin children, Apollo and Artemis. Both of them were powerful gods in their own right. Artemis was the goddess of the hunt and the guardian of young women. Apollo was linked to prophecy, music, and healing. Zeus's place as king of the gods was strengthened by the fact that both twins were loyal to him and worked with him. Zeus and Maia had a son named Hermes, who was a messenger god. He was also a close friend of his father. Hermes was fast and smart, and he often sent messages between the gods and people. He was Zeus's go-between. Persephone was the daughter of Zeus and Demeter. After Hades took her away, she became queen of the underworld. Persephone was taken by Hades, which caused a big fight between Demeter and Hades, but she wasn't a threat to Zeus' rule. One of Zeus's younger children was Dionysus, the god of wine and fun. Some of the other gods looked down on Dionysus at first, but he finally proved his worth and was given a place on Mount Olympus. Like his brothers, Dionysus didn't want to question Zeus's power. With Thetis, a sea nymph, Zeus steered clear of a relationship after learning that her son was destined to surpass his father. As a result, Thetis married a mortal, leading to the birth of Achilles, the legendary hero of the Trojan War. In Greek mythology, the prophecy about Zeus's children is part of a bigger theme about how fate always works out the way it does. In Greek stories, fate is often seen as something that can't be avoided, no matter how hard someone tries to trick it. In the case of Zeus, his fear of the prophecy made him do terrible things to control how his children were born and how they lived. That being said, the prophecy was never fully fulfilled in the usual way. Zeus's children never tried to get rid of him like he did to Cronus. One way to look at the prophecy is that it was not meant to be taken seriously. Zeus may not have been physically overthrown, but rather might have been overthrown by the new gods and goddesses who stood for different parts of life and the world. For example, Athena stood for knowledge and strategic thinking, which were often seen as weaknesses in the older, more force-based ways of getting power. Apollo and Artemis brought order and reason, while Dionysus stood for life's more wild and joyful parts. So Zeus's children didn't have to use force to get rid of him because they changed the way the world was thought about and run. The gods changed how they dealt with humans and with each other because of them. This showed a change in the balance of power without a full-on rebellion. The story of Zeus and the prophecy about his children shows how complicated power is in legend. Even though the oracle said he would fall, Zeus stayed in charge because he was able to change and handle his relationships with his children. This story shows how power struggles in Greek myths happen over and over again. It also shows larger ideas about fate, family, and the difficulties of being a leader. Zeus may have dodged a few bullets, but that prophecy haunted him for the rest of his reign, pushing him to make some questionable decisions. The king of the gods was powerful, no doubt, but even Zeus couldn't outrun fate forever. If you love that breakdown of Zeus's prophecy drama, give this video a thumbs up and comment below with your favorite Greek myth. And hey, make sure you're subscribed, because the gods aren't done causing chaos just yet.